Got the GDP numbers coming out almost instantaneously, probably in about a minute. The Dow is currently up 62 points. So we'll see the reaction to GDP numbers. With that said, I wanted to talk about a few things. I wanted to talk about a trading strategy. But first, why I'm here. Because sometimes I get a lot of haters and grief. Hey, man, why do you do this shit? You know, whatever it is. I do it to help you. If you take any part of what I'm saying and it helps you identify the support levels or the rejection levels, or it helps you with strategy, that is why I'm here. I'm not here for any other purpose. All right, with that said, the Dow is taking a bit of a tumble. I guess the numbers just got released. Dow was up 63 points. Now it's only up 24 points. Now, remember, yesterday morning, I was incorrect, and I'll be the first to admit it. I said yesterday that the principal theory for investors for January so far has been buying the dip. And I said yesterday, I didn't think it was going to happen. And I based my trading strategy off my thought process that I thought yesterday we were going to go down to 391. It didn't happen. There was support at 394.
April of this year, last year, 22.
Yeah, it's delayed. I'm just going to remove it. I'm sorry, man. I don't want to bring it up. The Dow is ticking back up. Again, it's a buy the dip theory right now, principle. Yesterday, I did not think it was going to happen. My trading strategy, maybe a little emotional. I believed the S&P or the SPY should be 391 at some point yesterday. So I traded off that basis. I also traded, and I was incorrect, and I'll be the first to admit it. I thought Tesla was going to miss earnings. I thought Tesla would miss either on the top or bottom line, and the investors wouldn't like that. And since a ton of retail investors have been piling into Tesla for now 20 straight days. In the last 19 trading sessions, understand that Tesla is up 50% in 19 trading sessions. Does that make sense? I don't know. Is that the true valuation? Again, I was expecting Tesla to miss. My play on the Tesla miss was NEO. I was playing NEO puts. They were cheaper. I entered into 6 contracts at 60 cents each. So that's $360. Again, I don't want to over leverage myself, especially going into an earnings play. All right. With that said, I want to bring up and talk about the SPY today. So first of all, Tesla's revenue, 51% year over year, diluted earnings per share up 80% year over year, free cash flow, which is important, up 51% year over year, and guidance was 30% year over year. So there's no reason. Of course, Tesla's going to run after that. But let's talk about the dark pool levels. Dark pool levels, for those of you who miss it every time I talk about it, dark pool trading, it's like off-market trading. It's like if you go and sell a house, instead of listing it with a broker, it's called a pocket listing. It's not listed on the MLS, something to that extent. It's so nobody knows that the house is for sale or that somebody's actually buying the house. Same shit happens in the stock market. I think it's there too. I think it's highly illegal. Everything in the stock market should be transparent. You're a large corporation or a holding company or a hedge fund, and you're buying 1 million shares of AMC, or you're selling short. It should be extremely transparent. There shouldn't be a dark pool, but there is. So let's talk about the dark pool activity simply for the SPY yesterday. There was over $4 billion worth of prints at 440 cents and at 433 cents. So just above the 400 mark. Where did we close yesterday? At 435 cents. Where has rejection been? At 401.06 and under. So understand, as we're sitting this morning, let's just see where the SPY is right now. SPY is sitting up 0.5% at 402. 401 now, 57. I guess it just took a bit of a bounce down, 401.70. Okay, the point is rejection's been actually a little lower than that. So when we look at, let's just see if we can go to the dark pool levels for the SPY. Here it is, 401.45. You have $13 billion worth of action here, 401.45. So we'll talk about bear case scenario first. Understand, if we cross back under 401, the next level of support should be 399, which is the next level down. You see a $14.74 billion worth of dark pool SPY activity. The next level down, 396.67. You can see a heavy $22.69 billion worth of SPY. So what does that tell me? It tells me if the market does end up dropping today, that it will likely find its first level of support at 399 and its second level of support at 396.67. So What's the theory going to today? Is it a buy the dip kind of day? Well, yesterday, again, I thought the market was going to go down. They bought the dip. So let's talk about on the way up. Let's say the market goes up. Understand 402.50 is your next level. Once you break 402.50, you're heading to 406. And between 406 and 410, there's no man's land. Meaning, bull case scenario, okay? The market buys the dip and we're not dipping that far today. Bull case scenario is we're going and we're heading to the 410 range. Do I know if it'll happen today, tomorrow, Monday? I do not know. But I can tell you, based on market activity, again, with emotion, I don't believe it. Do I think that stocks are overvalued? Hell yes. Even though some stocks drop significantly, do I think they're overvalued? Yes, I do. Let's take Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines came out and they said they lost $220 million in quarter number 4. However, Southwest Airlines, what have they been doing since they announced all those problems? Buying the dip. You've got what? 16 out of the last 20 days, Southwest Airlines has been bought up. Then they come out with their actual numbers and they say, we lost $220 million in quarter 4. So what's going to happen? Southwest Airlines down 2.41% pre-market. What's likely to happen? Again, trading with emotion, I would stay the F away from Southwest Airlines. What are they probably going to do in the market? They're probably going to buy the fucking dip. Yeah, I said it. They're probably going to buy the dip. Do I agree? Hell no. Okay, so let's get past that, okay? Again, bull case scenario, SPY, we closed at 435 cents. That is a dark pool level. If we go up to the next level, you're looking at 405, 406. If we break that, and again, you can go out a number of days, you're looking at 410, and we're probably headed back to 420. Do I believe that? No, I think things are overvalued. So again, lately I've been trading with emotion. And it's wrong. I decided in my mind that Tesla was going to miss earnings, and I made a play on NIO. Understanding China is celebrating their year of the rabbit, right? They're on break for about 2 weeks from January 22nd. The holiday lasts 16 days, 7 of which are public. The stock market is closed. What generally happens after China returns from their new year? Their stock market tends to rip. So again, my theory yesterday about trading anything like an Alibaba, a NIO, and anything like that, I'm just going to stay away because, again, I don't agree with the fact that China tends to rip after their new year. So I'm going to be on the sidelines. We heard terrible information, terrible reporting from Microsoft. What did they do? Microsoft went to 233, 231. They bought the dip. Microsoft at 240. It's probably going to flicker around that. And if the market stays strong and the SPY goes to 410, then Microsoft will likely go back to 256, 260, something to that extent. If the market gets ugly, and again, we had GDP numbers this morning. We've got PCE numbers tomorrow. We have, what do we have? Probably CPI coming up. That's probably 2 weeks out. So we'll hear from the Fed. I think they're speaking on February 4th. So that is the next main date that we're all looking for. Well, February 4th, you're talking about another week out. So if numbers don't if the numbers that are coming out and the data coming out doesn't, I can't remember the word I'm looking for. It doesn't deter. If it doesn't deter these investors. And yesterday, again, I thought the market was going to go down. All they did is buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. The GDP numbers came out. What happened? The Dow was up like 40, 50 points. Went down to flat. Where's it up now? 63 points. So again, they just continue to buy the dip. Now, 2 traders that I do follow on Twitter made these comments. One of them is TradyTix, who we use on our Discord channel as far as what we offer everybody, flows and algos, bullets, golden sweeps, things of that nature. You could do all the searches yourself. But TradyTix mentioned that this week he's been in 2 trades. One, he made 30%. The other one, he lost 20%. 2 trades. We're now entering Thursday. So 3 days of trading, 2 trades. The point is patience. PB, who you all know that I've interviewed a couple times, he's now 14. He might actually be 15-year-old now. But he crushed it yesterday, and he waited for the reversal, which happened about 10:45 or 10:50 and was confirmed. So I'm going to quickly show you that real quick. Let me just remove this. Let me show you what people were waiting on yesterday. So let me talk about the way that day traders need to trade, okay? If you're not a day trader and you have a job, then your trading will be a little different than everybody else. Meaning you're going to look at the bigger picture. You're going to say Disney's got bought up, 7 of 8 days. I'm going to wait for a Disney off day, and then I'm going to buy into Disney. But day traders, what they're going to do is they're going to look at the 1 minute chart. And let me just see if I can go back to yesterday's. Let's go to the 3 minute actually first. So what happened is yesterday morning we started out, we were dipping on some good volume. Then right around here, you can see there was starting to change. So they got involved in trading. PB did, because I spoke to him. He got into some QQQs here. He wrote it up. Right here, he sold about 70% of his position. Here, he got a runner and he sold out again 200%. The point is, it went even higher. So even if you're day trading, you always don't get the best exit or the best entry. But if you're day trading, you need to follow a 1 minute chart so you can analyze the volume, and you could be like, here was the first move yesterday. Okay, so we had a downward spike right here. The first line of volume that you really see happened right around here, and we went up to what was it, 394? What was that? Shit, I'm lost again. Let's go to the 3 minute. Here we go. So yeah, so we had the dip, then we had a line of volume increase right here. Right here, you could see the turnaround. If you're using the 1 minute chart, you technically could have got in at the top of this candlestick right here. So right about this point, which would still be about 398, slightly under there. Then you could ride the position up a whole dollar or something to that extent. So day trading is very different than trading a longer term strategy. A longer term strategy, you could be like, okay, every dip I'm going to purchase more call options. And when I purchase call options for Apple or Boeing or United or whatever it is, I'm going to go out to the end of February. I'm going to go out to the beginning of March. I'm going to give myself 5 weeks time. Anytime it drops, I'm going to buy more. Anytime it spikes, I'm going to sell and take profit. That is a more intermediate midterm kind of trader, medium, term kind of trader. Day traders, you must use the 1 minute, the 3 minute, and the 5 minute. The 1 minute I call my sniper tool, meaning there are various times that I will see the 1 minute reversal on the SPY or the S&P. Does that mean it's going to hold true? No, because you're only looking at the 1 minute. So I look at the 1 minute and I analyze it and I say, okay, we could have a reversal here based on volume. Let me check back in 2 more minutes. I look back in 2 more minutes and then it rejected. And I say, okay, false flag, stay on the sidelines, patience. If you see the reversal and the continuation and you see the volume adding up, then you can say to yourself, okay, let me get in. Now, do you jump in right away? No, you actually plan and you go, okay, they're selling the option I'm going to buy for $2.60 or $260 a contract. I'm going to put in for $2.42. That way, if it drops 18 cents, which would be about like 8%, I'm going to get an 8% sale right there. I'm going to get into the same contract that I wanted to get into, 15, 16 cents higher. So understand, that's a trading strategy right there. Once you make the purchase, then you say to yourself, what is my exit strategy? You go, okay, well, if the SPY is sitting here and it could reject here, that would make my SPY options. And you do the math yourself and you figure it out and you go, okay, they'd be worth $3.42, which would give me a whole $1 profit, which is about 41% on that trade. Does 41% fall in line with my trading strategy? Yes, it does. There are some people that expect 100% runners. Those people are trading 0 days till expiration options. Okay, if you're looking for a 100%, 200%, 300% gain, you're putting yourself at risk. I like a simpler trading strategy. I like to give myself more than enough time. Do I need to make the 100, 140%? Well, if you've got a house payment coming up tomorrow or credit card debt coming up tomorrow, then yeah, you're looking for that. But if you don't, if it's just your investment strategy, then I'd rather play it safe than sorry and give myself more than enough time to be correct. So I wanted to talk about the SPY ranges and like on a smaller level. Okay, I already spoke about the dark pool. There was $4 billion worth of SPY transactions or S&P transactions at 433 cents and 444 cents. So here are the intraday numbers that I'm looking for, okay? And these are my micro numbers. Macro I gave you. I said 399 on the downside. If we go under that, you're looking at 396. Above that, you're looking at 402.50. Above that, 406 and then 410. If we're doing a micro look at the SPY, then here are the levels you're looking at for support, okay? Support number one is right at the latest dark pool SPY level, which is $400.40. You're looking to see that should be a support level. Under that, if it breaks, you're looking at $399.59. Again, I'm giving you the micro scale instead of the macro. I'm letting you know where it can find support or where it can reject it. You should write down these numbers. They will help you. Again, first level support, $400.40. Under that, $399.59, which is 80 cents lower. It's not a huge $3, $4, $5, but you understand there are times to get in, times to get out and secure a profit. The first line of resistance, 401.59. Well, shit, Matt, we're past that pre-market. We're above. Where are we pre-market? Let's just see. SPY. Let's go to the 5-minute. 402.62. Okay, so 402.62. The next level of resistance, right, on a smaller scale is 402.59. So the fact that we're sitting at 402.62 and I'm saying 402.59 should be the second level of rejection. I would be watching that level right now. Now, again, they've been buying the dip. When I say they, I mean institutions, big money, and the like. Me, oh God, it makes it so hard to jump on that bandwagon. But when I trade with emotion, I trade with this should really happen in the market, then sometimes I get hurt or my trades are unsuccessful. If I trade with just mathematics and data and momentum and follow the market, then yes, you're going to be trading smarter. And Romeo has been killing it. I thought Romeo was going to have a live stream on YouTube today, but he did his lesson at 8:15 last night. So those on our Discord, you can go into lessons. You can watch the recap. He went on for an hour and 5 minutes talking about his orb theory, his theory that actually has been just panning out, paying out money after money, day after day. So please, anytime Romeo goes live, it's a great thing to follow along. I'm just going to see what kind of questions we have here. Carlos, if you have any questions, let's add them on. Okay. Good morning. Any lotto ideas? I mean, okay, let's talk about the lotto strategy because I spoke about that last Thursday. So yes, I'll give you some lotto plays or lotto ideas. So here's first off, what you're doing for a lottery is you're understanding that your contract expires tomorrow, Friday, end of business. So you have 2 days to be right. This morning we have GDP numbers, initial jobless claim numbers. Initial jobless claims numbers came down a little. Continuing claims went up 20K, up to 1.68 million. Again, the Dow went from plus 60 points to flat to plus 74. So what is that telling me? It's telling me they're continuing the theory of buying the dip. So, I mean, if you're looking for a lotto play, then yes, you're looking for something that just had earnings that might have dipped pretty hard. Southwest would be an example that dipped pretty hard. And again, they've been buying Southwest for like 16 out of the last 20 days, green inflow. I would stay the heck away from Southwest, which probably makes it a winning trade because I'm already telling you I'm going to stay away from it. They tend to buy the dip. Microsoft dip, bought the dip. I mean, everything like that. So what am I looking at? I mean, if you really want lotto plays, then I would talk about the most speculative plays out there. The most spec plays out there are companies that are smaller cap, that have been beaten down. Let's talk about Affirm, right? Affirm or Upstart or something to that, one of these prepayment systems, pay now, buy now, pay later. Understand, on red days in the market, these companies are going down 6, 7, 8, 9%. The next day would be a green day. Let's talk about Tuesday, down 8%. Wednesday, up 2%. How do you go from selling a stock where you can't hold on to the stock, you just want to get rid of it, like an Affirm and an Upstart because they're not producing any money, they're a small cap, and they're a risky venture, down 9%. Then you got a green day in the market, and then all of a sudden they're back up, and then they're probably up today pre-market. We could look at NVIDIA. Again, I hate following and being late to the party. But NVIDIA, which is bouncing, or even AMD, let's talk about AMD, which is at 76 after 2 days ago when it was being sold up. I think it went down to 71 or something to that extent. So you're talking about an 8% downside. All of a sudden it flips over from 71. It's back at 76. If they're going to push NVIDIA, which analysts gave price targets of $220 to $250, and it's sitting at 195. And the other day I mentioned it was sitting at 185. So it's up 10 points, just like AMD was at 71. Now it's up 75. Understanding if AMD comes out with some decent numbers and they decide to push the stock up, a number of rejection could be something like $88. The fact that AMD is sitting at $76 and you're talking about possible $12 more upside potential, that would be about what, 10%, about 18% upside potential in the next week. If the market continues, again, you have to come up with the idea that the SPY is going to 410. If you say the SPY is going to 410, then yeah, you can look at AMD calls, NVIDIA calls. You want to look at what is hot in the market. If you think the market is going down, then again, you're trading with emotion more like me. But understand, the amount of money I put into my NEO options was $360. The amount of money I put into my forward options was like $240. Not $2,400, not $24,000, but $240. So please trade accordingly. If you're going to play an earnings play and it's a risk on assessment, then you don't want to gamble your $10,000 account and put $10,000 in. Okay, morning. NIO closed almost 14% in the Hong Kong, up 14% in Hong Kong. Tesla beats. We will continue running today. I don't want paper hand the call options, but I don't want to lose profit as well. Okay, so you're in NIO calls or Tesla calls, and you're wondering if it can run even harder. Based on the pre-market activity from the Dow being up 40 to flat to up 76, from them buying the market yesterday on the dip, from the NASDAQ being up 117 points pre-market, you don't want to chase and you don't want to go in right now. But if you're holding the options and you say to yourself, can it run higher? Yeah, I mean, sure it can. Again, here's your NIO. Here's your NIO, and you got what, 10 straight inflow days. Then you got a 3-and-3 mix of the past couple of days, and it kind of stabilized itself. Now, again, if Tesla does not beat, NIO takes a dive, and NIO is back down to $10.50, which is what I was expecting. If Tesla beat, which it did, and Tesla's probably up 7% pre-market, then you're going to see the same thing out of NIO today. You're going to see 7%. You're going to see the same thing out of Lucid and Rivian. And again, I mentioned these comments and these stocks yesterday because they're going to flow. It's the same thing when Netflix has earnings. You could play Roku. When Square has earnings, you could play PayPal. When Snap or Pinterest have earnings, you could play Meta, or vice versa. Meta has earnings, you play Snap or Pinterest. It's a like-minded stock that will get the same type of movement. We could talk about the streamers. When Netflix had positive earnings, what happened? Roku popped, Disney popped, and Paramount Global. Remember Paramount Global, the guys that own NBC, Peacock, remember? They were at $18. Analysts were coming out saying they're a $12.50 stock. What happened? Paramount Global's at $22 now. So yeah, it went down to $13 because they told you to sell. And when you were selling, what were they doing? They were buying. The institutions, the hedge funds, the long-term investors, the funds, they were buying. So yeah, thoughts on Ego. I see the daily and weekly volume is up, weekly forming a U. Any dark pool activity? All right, I mean, we can look at dark pool and see. I got to remove the SPY. Let's add Discord, and we'll check out Ego, and hopefully we can check out the dark pool levels of Discord. Here we go. So let's make sure it's on the StreamYard. Let's add it. Boom. Okay, so we'll go over to Discord. It's very easy. You want to check out the dark pool level. You go to the bottom. You'll type in TR, which will give you your command. TR, DP levels. And there are a number of different commands. So Ego. I don't know what Ego is. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. Okay, so we got the dark pool. Let me just look up the chart for Ego first. Eldorado Gold. Okay, so it's a gold company. I would rather be in GLD. But, okay, so we're looking at Eldorado Gold. I don't know that. Volume's increasing. He had 1.79 million yesterday. The average volume is 1.8 million. So I wouldn't really say that volume's increasing all that much. But, again, if you go over to the dark pool level and you want to open this up, and the stock is currently trading at $9.62, what you can see is the support on the stock was probably at $9.26. And if I go back just to the yesterday's chart, $9.24 was the low. So it makes sense that this $9.26 was support. As we go higher, no real dark pool activity. I mean, it's so minuscule in comparison to the 2.8, 1.5, 4.7. But gold's on a tear. If you look at GLD, which is, let's just bring it up, GLD. Oh, not God. I typed in GOD. Okay, the ETF, the gold shares ETF. Again, gold shares are at 181. You're talking about a run from 165. In fact, from 155 in November. So 155 to 181. You're talking about a 20% run on gold. And gold's been off the roof. Gold's at like an all-time high right now as far as the past couple of years. I think last time we saw this was maybe February of 01. I'm not 01 of 21. Sorry, like that. Anyway, okay. Any more questions? If not, I'm going to head over to Discord. I appreciate everybody join me, and please join me tomorrow morning. Okay, Rivian or Uber call levels. I'm assuming that was just a mistype there. I'm assuming Rivian. I'm assuming instead of Uber, it's Uber. Call levels. I mean, again, I would just check out the dark pool levels. I stay away from Rivian. Rivian, it's just like not something I want to be invested in as far as it's just, yeah, that's the best I can say for that. So let's look at the dark pool levels for Rivian. DP levels, RIVN. I know Uber has more support than Rivian, so let's check out and see if we can get a dark pool level, DP level. on Uber. Let's see if this works. And there might not be enough of a level right now to tell you, yeah, it doesn't look like it's coming up. So we're just going to skip that. I'm sorry. Again, you could do this yourself on our Discord. I know, Cool Chick, you're on there. I know you're on there. I see other people. Listen, thank you, everybody, for joining me this morning. Again, I'm not going to be around all that much today. My eldest daughter, 10 years old, she's battling COVID, very, very sick. My youngest daughter has a sinus infection. My ex-wife is going crazy. So I'm going there to play nurse yet again for another day. Again, if you don't have time to focus on trading, you're at work, you have a busy day, you have a meeting coming up, you have a lunch, you have a doctor's appointment, you're worried about something else, you cannot trade then. If your brain and your mind is elsewhere and your focus is elsewhere, you're playing with real money. It reminds me of one real quick story that I will share with you. I see people coming into the casino and they're like, man, if I could just get even, I would get the hell out of there. They don't know what they're doing. They're not playing with the right data. They're not playing the right methodology. So the point is, they're playing with real money and they have no fucking clue what they're doing. So if you are a trader and you're playing with real money and you don't have a freaking clue, somebody reached out to me on Twitter yesterday, tells me he loses too much money in options. Well, he hasn't studied enough. He hasn't watched enough YouTube videos. He hasn't watched enough lessons that Romeo has done to show you guys candlesticks and things of that nature. So please, Romeo dropped a lesson. If you're on our Discord yesterday, he went on for an hour and 5 minutes. Please, please watch the lessons. He spoke about orbs. Yes, thank you, Mr. Jock. Thank you, Moore. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys on Discord. Please join me tomorrow morning, Friday, and we'll close out the week together.